Well, welcome. I am so happy to be by one of my favorite people, Erica Vetsch, author Erica Vetsch. It's so good to see you again.
It is good to see you too.
I always enjoy getting to talk to you.
Always a pleasure.
So last time we chatted, you had a book called The Debutante's Code come out, and now you have Millstone of Doubt.
Yep.
And so give us a recap of Millstone and tell us about your new one here.
Okay, so Millstone of Doubt is book 2 in a 3-book series, and it is Regency mystery. And with a little bit of a twist from how Christian fiction usually goes, I have the same hero and heroine over all 3 books. So their romance takes a little bit longer because they're really busy solving crimes.
Okay. And then you have another one coming out here shortly.
Children of the Shadows comes out October 10th.
And so then will that conclude?
That will conclude Juliet and Daniel's story, but the whole universe that I'm writing in the Regency will continue. I have another series with a spin-off character, and he will have his own 3-book mystery series.
Okay. What, can you give us a preview of that, or is it hush-hush?
Well, since I'm only about halfway done writing that first one, I probably better keep it hush-hush because things change.
I'll be reading it, 3 years from now. Wait a minute!
Yeah, you promised
That's not what
me.
Eric said. So, do you ever find reading or writing to, become a chore? Like, is it, the stories? Because sometimes when you're forced to do something, you don't want to do it. How do you?
Well, there's nothing that will motivate you like a deadline. And the closer it gets, the louder that clock ticks. I think with every job, there's always parts of it that are hard. You don't love all of your job all the time. There are times when it's easier to be creative. I find that if I spend some time with some other authors and we talk about that writing life, it can get it going again. But it really is, it's a solitary endeavor. It's you and your computer. So you have to motivate yourself even on days when you don't feel like it.
Yeah, get the job done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you write in the Regency period, and I've always wondered this. How does the hierarchy go with the titles?
Okay. Well, you start at the top with the monarch, so the king or queen, and then their offspring are princes and princesses. Then you have the royal dukes, which would be the brothers of the king, or the not heirs brothers would be royal dukes. But then you have, ordinary dukes, if you can have an ordinary duke. So it goes duke, and then marquis, and then earl, viscount, baron, baronet, and then you can have sirs, so they've been knighted, so sirs or dames.
Okay, and so how do they get these titles? Does it bloodline?
You know what, it can vary. Actually, during the Regency, the Prince Regent was quite known for awarding people titles that were his friends or could do something politically for him.
She has a book kind of about that too.
Yes. Often, though, the most common way is through bloodline. A father gives a title to a son. If there is no son, then they look for the next closest male heir. In Scotland, titles worked a little bit differently, so a woman could inherit if she didn't have any brothers. But those are sort of special circumstances.
And then what are the women's titles? Or being married to the duke?
A duke has a duchess. A marquis has a marchioness. An earl has a countess. Viscount is viscountess. Baron is baroness, or baronet is lady. So.
Okay. They can have the baronet or lady title, or baroness, sorry.
A baroness is for a baron, and then a baronet is the title below.
Oh, okay.
Baron,
they're the lady.
They're lady.
Whew.
So it's a lot.
Yeah,
especially if you didn't grow up thinking that way.
Yeah.
Americans are sort of opposed to that idea. Everybody's equal. Anybody can become president. We don't really have a true aristocracy here.
Sure. Okay, so I think you, probably along with Tracy Peterson, are probably one of the smartest people because you've done so much research. And
Oh, I'm a history nerd.
so what do you think is the most interesting thing you've learned in your research? And I know that's hard because you've got a broad research
Yeah. Well,
area.
one of the things that I learned early on is in the Regency, it's such a specific amount of time. It's 1810, to 1820 is the true Regency.
Oh, wow. So it's just 10 years.
When the Prince Regent, the son of the king, was ruling in his stead because his father was insane, right? So Parliament put the Prince of Wales in charge. So he only did that for about 9 years. So it's a very specific amount of time. And what I learned is that Regency readers are savvy. They take it very seriously. So I needed to do detailed research. And if I changed something, which I'm prone to do, like with my Bow Street Runners, the early police force, I use an author note at the end that says, I have accelerated the abilities of the Bow Street Runner for the sake of the story. Right? I understand that they really couldn't do this thing at the time period. And I found with readers that they're open to that as long as I acknowledge it. They don't want me to think, they don't want to think I'm making mistakes and not knowing. If I break a rule, I need to know that I did it on purpose. So probably the amount of research is the most interesting thing that I've learned about writing in the Regency.
Sure. How about the most useless piece of information that you've learned?
There's a lot that I never think anything is useless because you never know when you're going to use it, when the opportunity might arise, but I'm very much a word person. I love the sound of words, I love the shape of words, I love how they look on the page. And so the Regency has a very specific vocabulary. They had slang words for everything. Some of it you can use, some of it not so proper. But I'm always trying to find an unusual word and then work it into my speech. My family's they're used to it. But I didn't really realize that I had a rather extensive vocabulary until other people pointed out, because it's just what's in your head. But I love stumbling across a Regency word I've never heard before and then trying to work it in. So it's probably not too valuable on the grand scale of things, but I love it.
So you have a really cool Facebook group out there for Regency, all things Regency.
All things Regency.
And it's with author Julie Clausen and author Michelle Greep. So tell us about that wonderful group that you have.
It's called the Inspirational Regency Readers. We just surpassed 3,000 members. We're very excited about that. We focus on particularly inspirational or clean Regency reads, all things England, tea, also the bookish life, so lots of book memes and how people identify as readers and our love of books, and play a lot of games in there, a lot of giveaways.
Like a Regency bingo?
We play a game called Regency Bingo, where we provide a list of words, and readers will pick the words that they want off the list, and they'll email their list in, and then we draw words over the course of several weeks. So people will watch the videos to see what words we draw, and they cross those off. Once they get all of their words, they email in that they have a bingo, and then we award a prize. But we always award secondary prizes so that people can do a blackout bingo. So once all the words are called, they still have an opportunity to win a prize. But several hundred people play each time, and it's a lot of fun.
And it's neat. You do like a pick one on Monday, and
we have specific posts that will always be live in the group. So on Mondays we do a Monday pick one, and we pick something from the Regency. It may be a dish, it may be a carriage, it could be anything, and you just tell me which one you like, right? Tuesdays we do Teacup Tuesday, so just a beautiful picture of a teacup, and then usually a few readers will post a beautiful teacup they have. We started something called Workforce Wednesday, where we pick some of the lesser known occupations of the Regency and give a little history tidbit about that. We are starting a new thing on Thursdays, because we never had anything for Thursdays, and this is Julie Clausen's idea. I have to say it right, Thesaurus Thursday. So we're going to use some of those words that we come across and see, what we can do with that. And then Friday is Fashion Friday. So we found we get a lot of interaction from people when we ask an opinion where there's no wrong answer. There's so much contention on social media, where people have to convince you to think their way. And these are low stress. Just tell me, do you like the red one or the blue one? And I think people find that refreshing. There is no wrong answer because it's just which one do you like.
Yeah, and it's a great way to understand that period when you're reading the book. I have such a hard time, even though authors do a beautiful job of describing something, I have to see it because I just sometimes don't understand the description. And so I love seeing the dresses.
Yes.
And I want to say sometimes you had like an undergarments of seeing what that is.
Yeah.
And
try to really give a flavor for what it was like to live in that period, so you can see what how your characters react to it. Things that we take for granted in our everyday life would be really interesting to somebody from the Regency, and I think vice versa.
Yeah. But I think my favorite is a cooking video that you three did of it was supposed to be, I think, a currant, or it was some sort of a berry.
Oh, we did Christmas pudding.
Maybe that's what it was.
Yes, with lots of currants and fruit in it.
Oh my gosh, I died laughing because it cut and it's like something happened.
Oh my word!
To the video.
A few minutes later. We were early on in our Martha Stewart phase and also early on in our editing phase. We didn't know what angles to film from or anything, but what we found is this is a very video-oriented society now. And if we want to connect with readers, doing it on the screen is very helpful. So we're willing to put ourselves out there and try this stuff, but it doesn't always come naturally.
Yeah. So what is it? It's the Inspirational
Regency Readers
Facebook group. And so you can request to be join, or is it?
It is a private group, so it'll ask if you want to join. It's very easy to join. The bar is really low. There's not an essay or, you don't even have to be on Facebook very long, because we found a lot of our readers weren't on Facebook, but they wanted to be in the group. And so some groups will say you have to be on Facebook for at least 6 months before you can join. And no, we set that bar really low. So
awesome.
Easy to join.
Well, Erica, like I said, I really enjoy talking to you, and I love the humor that you kind of spit out in your books, and I'll be reading and then I just burst out laughing because I'm like, I can see you, and I could just see I picture your face as you're writing it, like.
Well, initially I write to amuse myself, so I always think I'm funny.
Nice. So where can people find out more information about you?
We have a website, ericavetsch.com, but mostly you're going to find me in that Facebook group. That's mostly where I'm.
And the three of you interact with the people that are in the group. So.
Yes, absolutely. We try to make it a priority.
Excellent. Well, thank you for taking time out of your schedule today to talk to me. And
thanks for having me.
Like I said, it's always a pleasure. So that's Erica Vetsch, and check her out on her website and the Inspirational Regency Readers.
There you go.
Group
on Facebook.
All right. So thanks so much.